Hey guys, Dan here alongside Joe, known as Merlin, in many circles, mostly online. With the new Frasier episodes. This is Frasier Friday for season 8, part 1. No mullet, the mullet is gone.
Long gone.
Everybody looks so happy in this picture though. All the smiles, because Niles is finally with Daphne.
Good times.
Yeah, all the smiles. So this is what we're going to be talking about today. We have the first half of the season. There's 22 episodes, but 2 of the last 3 episodes are double episodes. So I think we're still going to do the usual 12 and 12, because really there's 24 episodes.
Fair enough.
You know? So as we left last season, Daphne was about to get married to Donnie. Niles told her how he feels. Last scene of the season, big cliffhanger. She gets in the RV and wants to move along.
Escape.
The escape. So we've got episode 1 is The Dish Ran Away with the Spoon. And this is when they figure out what they're going to say to Donnie and Mel. Mel is, of course, Niles' new bride. So they have to figure that out. Donnie ends up wanting to sue Daphne. And Mel gives Niles a divorce with a lot of stipulations.
Yes, many stipulations.
She doesn't want to face suicide in her circle. So she's got some issues with that. So this was the first episode of Niles and Daphne really being together. I thought it was good. I thought it was a good season finale, season premiere. You know, we've been building to this crescendo of the Niles and Daphne bit, which I'm very hit or miss with.
Well, you've been hit or miss for the delays thus far.
Well, because I don't like the will they won't they for this long. I also don't like the making Daphne out to be a big dum-dum.
True.
And not having any clue what his feelings are.
Well, then you're going to have some different feelings I'm curious about hearing, because now you're going to see them more together and how you feel about that after all this time.
Yes, that's correct. This I thought was good. I liked seeing them together. I liked the resolution of Donnie going immediately to suing because he's a lawyer. That's a classic. And then, of course, Frasier tries to go over there to, smooth things over. That goes horribly awry, as usual.
Yeah.
And then the Mel, Mel, I think, was always designed to be a hated character.
I think you're right.
Because of, obviously, we want to see Daphne and Niles together, and da-da-da-da-da. So I think that was always going to be the way it was going to work out.
Yeah.
So I like that they sort of played that up even more and made her even more of a villain.
Pretty terrible.
She's pretty terrible. She's maybe a villain, but can you understand
where she's coming from? Kinda, yeah.
Right?
Actually,
I can understand it.
Definitely.
So let me pull up my my grades here for the season. But I believe I gave this one an A-.
I could see that.
I think I liked this one a good bit here. All right, well, we'll do that in a second because I can't figure it out. But I think that's what I gave
synopses,
it. Yeah. I'm working with synopsis on one phone and my grades on the other phone.
Oh, that's right. Technical issues on the other side.
But yeah, what did you think? I mean, that was a pretty good premiere, right?
Pretty good start to the season for sure.
Yeah.
I liked seeing a lot of that too. I do think you're right, though. They kind of always set up Mel as we have to hate her so that we can really be fine with Daphne and Niles getting together.
And, not a lot of Frasier really in this episode.
No.
This really, and it's an hour long. It's a 2-parter. Or maybe, do they consider it?
I think it was a long one, wasn't it?
Right? I think it was. Yes, they consider episode 1 on here, but Wikipedia has it as 2 episodes.
Huh.
So I think, that's what we'll go with, I suppose. But,
extended one, all right.
So it's extended first episode. So, all right, so The Bad Son is next. And in this one, let's see. Oh, Frasier sees the hot woman in the rain on the bus and, decides that she's beautiful, but he can't tell her because he slips before she gets off the bus. And so he decides to kind of track her down.
Mm-hmm.
He overheard, she works at this nursing home. So he pretends that he's going to take Martin there. Martin thinks it's for real.
Mm-hmm.
Hilarity ensues with the miscommunication,
that
as
was
always.
a good gag, actually.
It was a very good gag.
And then he keeps going along with it because he wants to like play
Right.
cards with the people there and just he can screw them over.
Right. So he ends up actually kind
Really
of enjoying
considering
it.
Yeah. It was a fun one.
Yeah, I liked it. And then Daphne and Niles have their romantic dinner plan around the meteor shower, but Mel's plans, are thwarting that again because she really she needs Niles to keep in line. Yeah, keep it a secret, keep in line with the whole theory
so she can save face. And...
the social circle aspect with these guys and everyone. No, I mean, I just think because Maris, same thing. It was, after he was divorced with her, it was all about like who's going to keep who's friends and which is obviously why she's also designed to be hated because she's basically a carbon copy of Maris in terms of how she treats him and all of that stuff. So let's look at my grade for this year.
All right, we'll finally find
yeah, we're gonna find all my grades here. I grade them in my on my email as a draft.
Ooh.
So they don't get destroyed somehow.
Smart.
Yes. But I have to locate them. But yes, I liked this episode. So let's just move on to the next one, and we'll eventually get the grades here. The Great Crane Robbery is next.
Oh yeah.
This is the start of the guest star conga line here. This is the one with what's his face, Steve the Pirate from Dodgeball, Alan Tudyk.
Alan Tudyk, yep.
Who plays this new hotshot billionaire who buys the station.
Yeah, sort of young Bill Gates type.
Yeah, and is sort of enamored with Frasier's style.
His sophistication.
He wants to learn how to be more sophisticated.
High culture.
And so he carbon copies.
He just steals everything.
What a gag. This one was great because it wasn't necessarily built on a farce or a miscommunication. I mean, I guess there's a little miscommunication when Frasier says you can enjoy this type of lifestyle if you'd like it or whatever.
And he takes it to the extreme.
He takes it literally, I guess. But other than that, it sort of deviates a little bit from that.
Yeah.
Sort of sitcom farce style, whatever. Which Frasier's very good at, but the last couple of seasons I felt like it was too much.
They were doing that a lot.
It was like every episode just about. So this was more, I don't want to say believable, because it was still very very sitcom-y. I mean, nobody's going to buy your exact, but he's a billionaire, so...
He could, and I could see
he could do it, I suppose,
doing something like that.
If anybody's going to do it.
This season did have a couple really great guest stars.
They really did, and yeah, we're going to hear a lot of them here coming up. But at the same time, Niles is still, struggling to keep up with Mel's demands, and this is where I think they go out to that restaurant, and she wants to... she wants him to sort of be a jackass and drive everybody away, and he calls the guy an alcoholic, and he's like, "Oh, how did you know, Niles? I've been hiding it so well. I'm going to rehab tomorrow. Thank you, Niles." Mel was so angry
because it actually worked out. Yeah,
right.
It was actually a good thing to do.
Yeah, it was actually a very nice thing to do.
That's awesome.
I'm just going to do it with the same
thing. There's
so
great
I gave that an A- as well. Crane Robbery, I gave a B+.
These are all good.
So that was good. And then A and A-, so good. All right, so Legal Tender Love and Care is the next one. This is a real Donnie episode, I think. Frasier, this is where Frasier hires the lawyer that he ends up sleeping with. And so, to face off against Donnie, he needs a high-priced lawyer, and he thinks that she's gouging him on the price.
For the prices.
So he, fires off this real rude email saying about the gouging. I forget who plays...
She's recognized.
She's recognizable too. It's what's her face?
She's the wife.
Terry Polo
from
Meet the Parents. Yes, it's Terry Polo.
She was great.
She was actually really funny in this. And then Daphne runs into Donnie at the end of the episode at the courthouse to find out that he is in fact done with suing her because he's found the love of his life in this new girl.
Yeah.
That they're he's going to marry that day, and she thinks he's jumping the gun, but at the same time, look, he's dropping the lawsuit. If he's we're not gonna poke the bear on that. So yeah, nothing really with the Niles Mel thing there.
No.
I guess that ended really at the end of last episode, when that whole thing came out with the alcoholism. I think she was kind of fed up with him at that point. That was the episode where she said, "Okay, fine,
we're done with it."
I think so.
Because I remember there was like a big scene with Daphne saying, "You stand up for me," and then Niles did. And
then he actually did, yeah.
I don't know if that was before that.
I think it was that same episode.
Must have been.
I think it was the dinner party was the first night, and then the very next night, I think, was at the apartment when he stood up for her. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that finally did happen.
Yeah, and actually, while we've moved past the episode already, I gave the legal tender love and care a B. But while we're on the subject of the Niles Daphne thing, what did you think about the whole the dinner, the end of the second episode of the season where, they can't go out to dinner because Mel screwed over their plans, but then Frasier decides to put them on the rooftop. It was very romantic.
That was nice. That was a very nice ending. Yeah, I liked it. I like that Frasier's doing everything he can to support.
Well, because, in that episode, everyone was blaming him for screwing things up.
Well, it was kind of his fault.
Well, it was...
Well, it was
I wouldn't say his fault. I would say it's his... he was trying to be helpful. And it was his fault that all this occurred, but also Daphne and Niles wouldn't have gotten together...
Without that happening.
And that was the episode where they were kind of bickering at each other about, maybe it's not worth it. Maybe Mel being such a shrew isn't worth this. And
some people
maybe Donnie suing me isn't worth this.
Basically, we're going through all this now. Maybe
and they blame Frasier for all of it.
This is all your fault for that.
A bit unfair, I thought, but...
A bit unfair.
But, I can see where everybody's coming from.
Yeah, but I think
even Mel and Donnie.
Yeah, I mean, from their perspective... Them being upset, I can understand.
Especially Donnie, because he was courting Daphne for a good year and a little bit, year and a half almost.
And from what we saw of Donnie, he seemed like a genuinely pretty nice guy.
Yeah, certainly a shark in the courtroom.
Yeah.
But a nice guy.
A nice guy.
And... still acting all the time.
I see him a lot, that guy.
He was just in the new, I think it was Hunters I saw him in, that new Al Pacino show.
Really?
Yeah, I think that was where I saw him this past week.
Just saw Al Pacino in a YouTube clip of a movie we discussed back in Film Fanatics.
Scent of a Woman.
A couple years before that.
Good. He's not in Goodfellas.
Nope. He was a gangster, though. Gangster movie. I you like it.
The one with Kevin Costner and Harrison Ford. Untouchables? Is he in that?
That's a good guess. More colorful than Untouchables. Not quite as realistic.
And we discussed it on Film Fanatics?
We never actually did a review, but it was one that we wanted Justin to watch. He never saw. We put it on a list.
Oh, so I've seen it then if we wanted Justin to watch it.
Yeah. Not to deviate too much.
Yeah, I was going to say this is... it's not like Al Pacino co-starred on Frasier. I have no idea.
Dick Tracy.
Oh, yes, of course he played... Was it Flat Top? Or,
he was Big Boy.
Big Boy, okay. I know Hoffman was Mumbles.
My bad. Give me it.
Dick Tracy is a great film, everybody.
I want to talk about that on a video.
We could do a separate cast for sure on Dick Tracy.
That's a good movie.
Yeah. Who was Flat Top then? Was that Oliver Platt?
Flat Top was William Forsythe.
Is that right?
I believe, with a lot of makeup on.
Wow, okay.
I'm pretty sure. You could double check me on that, but I think it was him. Because I realized I never knew who played him, and I could see, usually Forsythe has, facial hair.
Okay.
And that one he didn't.
I thought of Oliver Platt because he does have a scrunched up face in real life.
No, I don't think it was.
To be completely honest.
Maybe it was Oliver Platt.
Maybe it was. All right, so let's continue with Frasier.
Definitely.
With the new friend. And this is where another famous guest star, do you remember who this one was?
You're going to tell me now. I'm going to...
Lives on a boat in this episode.
Yeah.
That's good old Lumberg.
It's Bill
Lumberg or Mr. Brady in the Brady Bunch movie.
That guy.
Gary Cole.
Co-star
of The Good Wife in a couple of seasons.
Does he ever play a person who's not kind of an a-hole?
I mean, he's pretty nice. Well, Mr. Brady's not an a-hole. He gives rambling speeches, but...
In context, everybody else around him, they're probably, what's wrong with
He does love his family, though, right?
Actually, right. Okay, I guess
right?
Mr. Brady.
He's not much of an a-hole, Mr. Brady.
That movie's really dark, by the way. That's
yes,
a strange
great movie, though, right?
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, one of the best of the parody films.
But I like his character in this.
Yeah, so Frasier
guy.
kind of spots him with Roz and goes over and introduces himself and then strikes up a friendship with him. And then it's this sort of, behind their back sort of thing because she breaks up with him. So she's like, well, you can't be friends with him anymore. So then he's sneaking around. She's then sneaking around because she got back together with him.
But neither one of them wants to know the other person's still doing it because they have these ideas about standards for each other.
This is the classic farce that we've come to know and love about Frasier.
This is a classic Frasier.
And a little bit, not only classic Frasier, but you would say a little bit I Love Lucy, too, when they're in the closet at the end.
Yeah.
And the big, the boat inflates when they see him with another woman.
Oh, yeah, the lifeboat.
I thought that was a B+. I enjoyed that one.
That was a good one.
Very funny. Didn't move anything along with Niles or Daphne.
No,
but funny, for sure.
Good for Ross to get a couple centric episodes.
Absolutely. So Merry Christmas is next. And this is when the return of Dr. Mary.
Classic.
Another guest star here in Kim Coles. And we saw her last season for the first time.
Dr. Mary.
I love this Dr. Mary character. To me, she could have been in every year. She could have been a BB. She could have been a Lilith. But these were the only two appearances of her.
This is another one of those episodes that when I think of Vaguely About Frasier, I come to. This is one of my favorites.
Is that right?
I really
more than the first Dr. Mary. Because not for me.
Possibly for me because I really liked how he
incorporated the love of the parade,
nostalgic for the parade, and like he's so excited about it. And of course, once again, similar to the other Dr. Mary episode, they like her more. He's trying to do his little gags, his little quips, and they're just not hitting. He's getting upset about it. Then he ends up ruining it.
I think my issue with it is it's the exact same plot.
Okay.
As the episode. So I mean, the other one to me, because it came first, is more original.
True.
But I do have to admit, I mean, that obviously took place in the radio station.
Yeah.
This does take place at an entirely new setting. I do like the idea behind this is what he's dreamed about his whole life. He finally gets to do it, and it doesn't go over very well. The other episode was more like she's on his home turf.
He doesn't understand
and
why
becomes more popular.
Yeah.
Here, this is his dream turf,
and she's
more popular.
So I think it's not necessarily. I don't know.
It's very similar, though. You have to admit.
It's very similar, but I don't think it's a carbon copy. I think it's building on that relationship in the previous episode. Because even with what you just said, interference on the professional life and his identity, but all this is like something he's aspired to have.
Well, and it's revealed that she'll be coming back to the station in this episode. Mm-hmm. They lured her back, which I was excited about possible new Dr. Mary episodes, but they didn't come.
Would you watch the show?
The Dr. Mary show?
Mm-hmm. Is a spinoff? Another Cheers spinoff?
I do enjoy my Cheers spinoffs. Boy,
do you think
maybe
Dr. Mary?
Here are the stipulations.
Okay.
Kenny would have to be on it as the boss.
Yes, he'd be one of the mains.
Right, and then maybe you expand some of the other people. Like Noel was the first one I was thinking of.
Noel could get a few more episodes.
Yes, I agree.
And maybe Chesterton.
Gil
should get more episodes.
The problem with Gil is he's just so one note.
But he's funny.
There's no way to really expand his character because it's so one note and the joke is there.
You know what though? I think they could have. I think if they wanted to expand on the character for his own show.
Maybe, but not by season 8. I mean, it's been one note for so long.
Well, I mean, if
you don't take him any more seriously.
If he was part of the Dr. Mary spinoff.
If he was part of the Mary spinoff, maybe.
Because think about it, he's pretty much just there for the radio episodes and maybe like
you put BB Glazer in as Mary's agent,
and these other supporting characters could have more of a focus. I don't know. There's enough colorful characters there. Maybe one or two.
I'd be on board. Yes, I would be on board with the Dr. Mary spinoff.
We're going to produce and write.
I really would.
First episode of Dr. Mary. See where it goes.
You're right. All right, so up now. Oh, I didn't grade that one. I think that was a B. Next is probably your favorite of the season.
All right, okay.
Would you like to guess why? Yeah, Merry Christmas was a B. This one I gave an A to. It's definitely one of my favorites.
What's it called?
Frasier's Edge is the name of it.
Frasier's Edge. Remind me.
I'll remind you in the way that the guest star is one of your all-time favorites and a man that just recently passed.
Oh,
Odo.
This is my favorite. Rene Auger something.
Argeron or something.
That French last
God
name.
bless him. I can't pronounce his last name.
Man.
But, he comes in as Dr. Tewksbury, which we revisit later in the season, which I think is great.
Recurring.
So he becomes a little bit of a recurrer. But yeah, so Frasier's getting this Lifetime Achievement Award.
This is probably the best.
And of course, in his own psyche, that means, well, my career's over. You don't get a Lifetime Achievement Award if you're still doing great work.
So he's like, what am I going to do now?
And he realizes Tewksbury, his old mentor, is in town for the semester as an adjunct or something.
This is a great one, yeah.
And so he goes to the office and, yeah, I mean, this episode has everything that's great about Frasier kind of in one. Because you've got the stuff at the actual ceremony is funny.
It is.
Because you've got like Martin trying to vamp for to kill for time, and all that kind of stuff. And really it's one of Niles and Daphne's first night out
in public
as a couple, so there's some nice things there. But the stuff with Dr. Tewksbury gets quite serious, introspective,
psychological.
Deep, psychological.
Yeah, he's all like, what's my life come to?
Yeah.
What's it all about? Like, are you really happy with your career and what you're doing? And it's like he has to really.
And boy, you can
himself.
see this is so well written.
It's very good.
You can see how he's the mentor. You can see how Frasier has basically built his entire
on this guy
psychology career on sort of his
with
relationship. And yes.
I was like, aha, would you really think this because of that? Well, then I don't think this. And it's like, oh, and then you think it's resolved, and it's like, no, please, what am I going? What is it all?
And was it obvious to you that Tewksbury is by far the better psychologist?
He is better.
He is better.
He is better.
Like and there's an episode we'll get to in the second half of the season. Where he calls Lilith on the telephone. It's in the season finale. And I always thought the Lilith Frasier back and forth was always very even. They both brought different aspects of psychology to the table, very evenly matched.
They're on the same level.
I mean, this Tewksbury, they wrote him purposely to be...
He's an expert. Right? He's got a lot of experience. I really liked when he has the little session pretending to take the role of being in the radio show. And he's like,
brilliant.
It's like he's calling you. No, you're dodging. What's the problem? Like you're just using all the techniques and like, no, you are Frasier. You know.
Right. So you know his. You know his
yourself.
Mind.
Stop trying to dance around it.
This was probably an A+.
This was such an excellent episode.
And it's not one that I go to. It's not a...
Well, it's a little more heavy. Not quite as many.
But like, if you asked me to name my top, 5 or 10 episodes, I don't know that this would naturally spring to mind. But it's certainly one of the most
important,
well-written, dramatic episodes. And important
for his character,
like you mentioned. Yeah.
And also, I really do think that actor Odo is just—he's such a good actor.
We call him Odo. Yeah.
He's Odo. He's such a great character actor. Renee, he's a
all the way back for me from the Benson days.
The Benson days.
Yeah, he was on that show Benson.
Yeah, I looked up his filmography. He had a lot of random roles. We watched watched Last Unicorn.
Yeah, I was gonna say he came up in something recently for you, right?
He was.
Did you watch that because he passed?
No, it was just Shannon wanted to watch Last Unicorn with and some friends, I guess, and I was like, oh wait a minute, there's the scene with this skeleton that comes to life, and he did the voice acting for it. So I mean, he popped up in a lot of things.
Yeah, he was no joke.
Yeah. So sorry he's gone. He was a good actor.
But yeah, and this is an A+ probably. This is a great episode.
Very good.
I didn't have any A+ for this season, but I think this would fit the bill.
I think that's definitely worth it as an
A+. So Cranes Unplugged is next. This is when Freddie comes for the season, and Frasier is having difficulty connecting with him because he's now of the age where he's watching MTV and on the telephone with his girlfriends or whatever.
I'm gonna hope you like this episode. Do you know why? You know why I'm gonna guess that? I would hope that.
Because they watch MTV in it?
The scene with MTV is pretty good. What are they doing? That was pretty great.
Martin is like transfixed by all the nude, scantily clad women on the videos.
I do like
videos.
The timely pop culture stuff between that and Austin Powers is pretty great.
Well, that's a classic, yeah.
That was a good one. But, I mean, you've got his son back.
Yep, I love Freddy.
You like a Freddy.
Yep, I do like a Freddy.
If I remember correctly, it's another classic cabin episode.
Yep,
Gotta love a cabin.
They go back to the cabin. Now this is not the same cabin.
Different cabin.
It's always different cabins, except
How
for
many
like
cabins
a couple.
do they have?
Well, I don't think they have this. I think they rented this one.
Didn't they rent it before? Wasn't this
kind of like the ice fishing one? I don't think they didn't own the ice fishing place.
But they must go there often, right?
He went there with Duke a lot, but he never brought the boys there
Oh.
until that episode.
Because he was trying to recreate his own.
The family cabin I think is the one with Rita Wilson, where she looks exactly like the mom.
Oh,
That's when they went up to that cabin.
that's a good one too.
And that's been in a couple of them. That was the one I think with Guy as well, the French instructor that had the hots for Niles. I think that was that episode too. But anyway, but yeah, this one was a good one. I mean, you've got the classic Freddy, but this was such a great. Here was another one. It was kind of serious because it was like.
Well, it's a sequel to the other one thematically. Because remember he says,
that's true.
What's important? I'm going to spend more time with the family.
You're right.
People in my
That's
life.
true. This is the exact next episode from the Tewksbury experiment. Discussion, I should say.
I like it. That should be a movie.
The Tewksbury experiment.
Sounds
good. Sequel to the Case for Wellness.
Yeah. Oh.
This time the plot will make sense.
Yeah. Oh.
Shots fired. No, but he's realizing that he's. His son is at a place that he can't really connect with him, and that really is hard for him because he didn't even watch him grow up.
No.
But then at the same time, Martin, of course, to the rescue with the big, speech. And
grounded kind of advice.
Grounded advice, and he's been there, well, I could never really connect with you kids, but I tried, and da-da-da-da-da.
Matters.
And then at the end, Freddie
they kind of have a
tells
moment.
him, tells his dad that he kissed a girl, and it was his first kiss, and not to tell mom. And so, yeah, that was a good moment too.
That was good. That was
another enjoyable one. I mean,
you'd like it.
All right, some of these are good. I can't deny that.
What? Some.
All right,
I saw the list though, so there's gonna be some surprises though.
I think the second half of the season is a lot worse than the first half. Let's just say that.
Oh no.
Motor skills is next.
Oh, okay. This is another one of my favorites.
This is the cars.
This is so good.
They want to learn how to make repair cars because Daphne is very.
This is so funny.
Not irritated, but he wants to impress Daphne that he can. Hey, I can do something with my hands.
Cars,
I can fix cars.
Break down.
Because she doesn't want him to do anything. And to me,
break down.
This is a great guest star. Probably not so much in the Joe world.
But I liked him. I'm guessing.
The teacher was on Freaks and Geeks.
See, I need to see this show.
He was the guidance counselor. You've not seen... Okay.
See,
okay.
I've talked to him about this. I've never seen
Once Frasier Friday wraps up...
Freaks and Geeks Friday?
Freaks and Geeks Fridays. Okay. All 17 episodes should get their own review.
Fine, I've never seen
their own episode.
Do you think I would like it?
Yeah. And I'll tell you why.
Seth Rogen?
Well, everybody, but... There was about a 2 or 3 year period of my life, shortly after it came on DVD, that I would introduce it to people. I'd say, you gotta watch this show, Freaks and Geeks, da-da-da-da-da.
It's a bunch of nerdy kids.
And I would, well, they're the freaks.
And the geeks.
I'm sorry, they're the geeks, and then the freaks are like the burnouts.
Okay.
The Franco and Rogan.
Okay.
And Jason Segel. I sort of based my friendships on, if you like this show, okay, we can hang. Everybody has sort of like one TV show or movie. It's like if
that's
the person doesn't, if the person that they're talking to doesn't get it or isn't into it, it's kind of like, okay, we're probably not going to get along. So yes, I think you would love it.
Okay.
Because there's nothing not to love it. It's one of the most brilliantly written shows
I've heard
ever.
A lot of praise about it.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of good people started there.
Yeah.
But did it get canceled too soon?
One season, yeah. Got canceled after one season.
Well, that's gonna be another part. I was about to ask why, but we gotta.
So we'll do that.
But
after Frasier Friday, Freaks and Geeks Friday, guys.
Now we know the next one's official.
Dead serious. But anyway, let's talk about motor skills. So this was a great episode, very funny. But here's my problem with it. Once they turn that switch where they decide, okay, we're going to be the bad boys of the class. We're not going to care. We're too cool for school.
Yeah.
They turn into real jerks. Like
a little bit.
Oh, a little bit. They got literally kicked out of the school.
I thought that was hilarious.
It was funny.
There was a consequence.
Because they're idiots. I thought it was
Too much?
It was funny. I can't deny that it was funny.
You don't like it when they change their
Well,
characters.
the thing is, Niles changes his character several times throughout the course of the series. He changed it for girls. He changes. Remember the time he came in with the leather jacket with that chick from the diner or whatever,
yeah.
the waitress, and then he's constantly trying to change it for Daphne. Like later in this season, he goes to a nude beach.
They're putting on an act because they think that it's not being serious. They can just get past it.
But this is so outlandish for Frasier, the character.
A little bit. I mean.
To go along with it.
Maybe they went a little far, but I do think that...
It was funny. I can't deny it.
It clearly didn't work out for them.
Oh, it sure didn't. Yeah, they looked like real jerks, actually.
I was like, what you gonna do?
I gave it a B+. I didn't dislike the episode.
It's like you're getting
but I'm just saying...
No, what are you serious? I'm going to call the auto club.
That was pretty great.
To call AAA.
I can't deny that. All right, so the last one we're going to talk... Oh, no, there's two more. The show must go off. This is
another.
This is probably your favorite of the whole season.
Wait.
Maybe even over
See,
Tewksbury.
there are a couple favorites. Actually, no. This is my favorite.
Okay.
This is my favorite.
Well, I'll let you talk about it.
Okay, because another one that I must have come back to a lot of times.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, there's this.
This I could totally see.
This Shakespearean actor, I believe Niles and Frasier saw the show in high school or something.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big inspiration for them about acting and theater and everything, because they're clearly into all that stuff. And Frasier comes across him because I think he has to get signatures
for Noel
at a sci-fi convention.
Yes, and his big claim to fame these days is this character on this long-running sci-fi show.
Like a Lost in Space sort of thing.
Right.
He plays like the alien. That's all he does now. And he's like, oh man, what a fall from grace! This great actor. You should go on the road and do a one-man show. And they actually try to produce it. And they kind of as an homage to the producers.
Yes.
They say, oh, we're going to support him, and then they reveal that he's actually terrible.
He can't act his way out of a paper bag.
Actually really horrible. And they even check older videos, and I guess as kids they just realize he's just really bad.
Yeah, they didn't get it as kids how bad he was.
So they just spend the entire time trying to find ways to sabotage it and just prevent it from happening.
Setting off the fire alarm.
Setting fire alarms and
But then it turns out the fire chief is a big fan.
So from the sci-fi show. So and his father comes in, he's like, I can't perform when he's there, and all this stuff happens.
Yep.
And I want to say, you probably don't know this, and I know a little bit about this. There's a layered joke here as well, because this is also a great guest star. Because this guy doesn't do a whole lot of film or TV.
Okay.
But he's a very famous Shakespearean actor in England.
Oh, is that right?
Oh yeah, he's the real deal. He's been in a couple things.
There was somebody I did not recognize.
I've seen him in a couple things, but he mostly does theater.
Okay.
He's a very accomplished, real Shakespearean actor.
Hilarious.
And even better, about only a couple years after this, maybe 5 years or so, maybe 5-10 years after, he actually played a character in a cheesy sci-fi show from Britain called Doctor Who.
Stop.
Where he actually played, in one episode, he played the Doctor's archenemy, the Master.
As a nod to this, you think?
I mean, maybe not intentionally, but I don't know. A Shakespearean actor who ends up becoming famous for an old cheesy sci-fi show ends up having a real role in a reboot of a cheesy sci-fi show.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah,
so I forget that guy's name, but yeah, he's the real deal. So
wow.
Him playing it up, and then the end where he does the show, even though he's fell on his hip.
the big gasps are so funny. Yeah, this one was an A for me. I don't think it's as good as the Tewksbury episode, but
this is up there for me too.
But this was very fun. I mean,
it's classic.
Yeah, in terms of an episode just about the laughs.
Oh.
There's no character development here. We're not focusing on Niles and Daphne.
It's great.
Pure laughs. And then so the last one we're gonna do is Sliding Frasers. Now this is sort of a takeoff on the movie Sliding Doors.
Oh yeah.
With Gwyneth Paltrow, right?
I believe so.
When you just change one thing about your day,
and
then it trips off a whole bunch of different things.
It's a good one.
But you still end up
in the same
place. Boat. Yeah, in the same place. So this is one where the whole plot conceit is that Frasier is sort of hard up for women. So in one reality he goes on this speed dating thing, and in another reality he meets this beautiful woman at the diner, or at the cafe rather, Nervosa, that he bumps into. But in the first scenario, Roz drops something, or he drops something, so he misses running into this girl, and the new hot guy at the station bumps into her instead. But in the other reality, he's dating Roz because Frasier's with the girl that he bumped into. So,
Yeah.
but at the end of the episode, they both end up with the same fate. I like this a lot. I like the movie Sliding Doors a lot. I like this conceit of, one small change in your day can set off, infinite number of different possibilities. And I like the idea that you can still end up in the same place. I think that's what happened in Sliding Doors too. I only saw that movie once.
I've never seen Sliding Doors.
I've seen this episode probably about
more times.
10 times, but I've seen the movie once. But it even says in the synopsis here, a la Sliding Doors. I enjoyed this episode as well.
It's a good one.
So I gave that an A-. So there we go. Those are all the, I think most of the best ones so far, but the second half is like rough.
Plummeting.
No. But real quick, before we get into the second half, because we'll talk about that in the next episode.
Sure.
We haven't really talked much about Martin or Roz.
No.
These are mostly, other than the Gary Cole episode with Roz, this is really not much of a building season for them. Martin's not dating anybody.
No.
I mean, he has that nice scene with Frasier at the cabin. But it was mostly about Niles and Daphne.
Which makes sense.
And then Frasier's quest to sort of find love, like always, and find himself with Dr. Tewksbury and all of that. So, so they're in there. I mean,
they're there.
Just because we're not mentioning them, they all have
good episodes.
They're all in
moments.
Pretty much every episode, I think. They all have funny lines and everything. But yeah, this is certainly a less centric season overall on them.
Did Bulldog come up in this season? Did he come up once?
I don't think he's been in the season so far.
Didn't come up yet? I think he shows up
because he's not at the station still, right?
He's not, because I remember he was the pizza
So he
guy
wasn't at the Seabees, I don't think. Well, and he was Ross's babysitter last season as well. Oh, that was the same episode.
Same episode. So I'm trying to think. Okay, he must show up at least. Maybe next episode we'll find out.
Yeah, I can't remember, but
I'm
not sure.
Usually, was there a season where he was missed?
I think there was a whole season where we didn't see him so far. Yeah,
I think so, like earlier.
When I think he got fired the first time.
Bob Bulldog
Briscoe. Very one note though. I like him, but in small. Now that he's only appearing a little bit, I like it better.
I actually agree.
Yeah, right. Like he's fine, but he's pretty one note.
I kind of liked it when he would show up in the early episodes and he just do his thing. I get off, bang, bang, bong,
At the beginning, yeah, when he was doing stuff on the radio, it was funny, like making fun of callers and stuff.
They could have kept him there. I would have been fine.
They just didn't do enough with him,
No.
But all right, so that's the first half of the season. We will get
pretty
to
good start.
The far inferior second half.
Spoilers, Dan reviews it. Frasier Fridays.
Look, all I'm saying.
Don't even watch the next one. It sucks.
Right. No, definitely watch it to hear why.
So you can like it,
why
share
it's so
it,
bad.
Subscribe if you like the video.
Yeah, do all of that.
All that stuff. Do all of it for this guy.
Tell everybody about Freaks and Geeks Friday coming up.
Coming up in a couple months.
In a little while.
Because how many seasons are there to Frasier? A couple more, right?
Yeah, there's 9, 10, and 11. So there'll be 7 more videos.
Yeah, we're getting
if you include season 8, part 2. So
later this year, maybe, Freaks and Geeks.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. But thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.